Hi, welcome back. This is part 3 of the 2006 Junior Cert project. It's by far and away the easiest piece to mark out and make. It's simply an aluminium disc, 1mm thick aluminium as we have here. The important thing here is to file a good circle. What we're going to do as well in this video to add, I'm actually going to make a second one and just come up with 2 designs which I will show you after I've manufactured the whole thing. This is so simple it's hardly worth a video, but I'm doing it for consistency and having them all. So to get started, very simply, we want to find the centre as close as possible of the piece of metal. So with any square rectangle, by joining up the corners on opposite sides and drawing a line, the line must go through the centre. Now we're going to have to drill a hole here, and we want to use the dividers, so I'm going to punch that. We're told on the drawing that the diameter of the circle is 100mm, and in order to do that we need to know the radius. The radius is half of the diameter, so we're going to set up our dividers to 50mm, half of 100. I'm going to start at 10, and that means 10 plus 50, I must go as far as 60. And as usual with drawing circles, especially bigger ones, it's easier to turn the piece of metal than it is to try and turn your hand. So if you're on a smooth enough surface, you can just spin it around, and there we go. Manufacturing this is very simple. We have to drill a 2mm hole in the middle, and then we have to cut out the circle and file it to shape. As a student, you'll be able to use the guillotine or bench shears to cut off, or snips, a curved snips, to cut off a vast amount of this material, but you'll probably have to file it at the end to get a good surface. I'm going to use a bandsaw to cut most of it off and then finish off with a bit of filing. Right, to drilling. So sometimes when you put a piece into the vise, it's sitting way too high, and even if you put it at the edge, it's not ideal at all. So what you can do, very simply, is kind of extend the vise. I've cut 2 pieces of wood here, scrap wood, and I'm just going to use those inside the vise and sandwich my piece of metal in between. And now we can get a much more sensible height so that the metal isn't going to move backwards and forwards as we're filing. The process for getting a circle is reasonably straightforward, if long. I'm going to use a smooth file because it's aluminium and I don't have a long way to go. But basically I'm going to file down on top until I get just about the line, move it sideways, file a little bit more, move it sideways, file a little bit more. And then at the end I'm going to file in this fashion around the curve to blend those flats together into a nice curve. So, time to basically get started. Okay, so that's the piece done, filed nice and round. All you have to do with that afterwards, they want you to put the numbers on it or indicate the different numbers 1 to 6 so that when it spins and stops, it identifies a number.